Okay, friends, week 2, day 2 of our bell ringers. Let's get started. We're going to begin with our daily fact family, and the words to know for these are factor times factor gives us a product. And now these ones, the ones for division are a little harder to remember. What do we call the number that we are dividing up into groups in division? We call that our dividend. And then the number that we use to divide it up into groups is our divisor. Whoops, spelled it wrong. Divisor. Okay, and then our answer starts with a Q. Do you remember? Quotient, of course. Okay, so we've got 6, 6, and 36. Factor times factor gives us a product. Now this product is a very special number. What do we call it when we have a number where two factors are the same? We call it a square number. So 36 is a square number because 6 and 6 are the same factor. And then we can take our dividend, 36, and divide it into 6 groups with 6 in each group. And then since we have the same factor 2 times, it's kind of just more of the same. All right, measurement. Let's do it. Now we need our multiplication and division skills for these problems. 8 feet is equivalent to how many inches? Now in order to figure that out, we have to remember that in each foot are 12 inches. So 8 feet times 12 inches in each foot. Let's see. 8 times 10 is 80. And 8 times 2 is 16. So that gives me a total of 96 inches. Okay? And remember that the way I want you to solve these is I want you to pause my video and solve it on your own and then compare your answer with what I'm getting. Because I have been known to make mistakes in these videos. I know that's shocking. But I have had kids message me and point out errors that I've made that they've caught because they've been solving it. Okay, so now we're going to take our 232 inches and divide that by 12 inches in each foot and figure out how many feet that gives us. Now, here's a rhyme that I use to help me. I don't know if you guys have heard this before, but horse to fly, multiply. This is a little nutty, but I'm going to explain it in a minute. Horse to fly, multiply, and it rhymes, so that's how you can remember. Oh gosh, spelling. Oh gosh, you guys. Okay. Horse to fly, multiply. Fly to horse. What's the opposite of multiply? Divide, of course. All right, so let's think about what this means. Horse to fly, multiply. That means that if you have a smaller unit of measurement that you're converting, no, if you have a bigger unit of measurement that you're converting to a smaller one, horse is the bigger unit of measurement, fly is the smaller unit of measurement, then you're going to multiply. So like in our first example, feet are bigger than inches. So this is like the horse, and then the inches are the flies. Horse to fly, multiply. If you're taking a smaller unit of measurement, like a little fly, buzz, 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 an annoying little fly, and you're changing it to a bigger unit of measurement, then you would divide. So feet to inches, or horse to fly, that's multiply. Inches to feet, that's fly to horse. So we're going to divide, of course. Good little memory trick for you. It's called a mnemonic device. It's supposed to make it easier to remember. You tell me if it works for you or not. Okay, so let's go ahead and divide. 232 divided by 12. Now, I'm curious. I don't know how many of you are very comfortable multiplying like this. Do you guys know how to, or not multiplying, hello. I don't know how many of you are comfortable dividing like this. The way I would do this is I would say, okay, how many times does 12 go into 2? I can't do it without getting a fraction or a decimal. So then I say, how many times does 12 go into 23? Do you guys know how to divide like this? 12 goes into 23 just one time. 1 times 12 is 12. 23 minus 12, that's 11 left over. Now I'm going to bring down the 2. Now I have to figure out, okay, 12 goes into 112. Let's see. 12 times 10, that would give me 120, so it's not that. Twelve times 9, let's see, 120 minus 12. 120 minus 10 is 110. Minus 2 more is 108. Okay, so it's got to be 9. 9 times 12 is 108. 112 minus 108, that's my remainder. Ooh, it's a mixed number. Okay, so it's going to be 19 and, oh my gosh, this is crazy. 19 and 4/12 feet. And I can reduce 4/12. Did you learn reducing in 4th grade? We're going to have to talk about this next week. There's no way. I'm just thinking with you being out in the spring, maybe you didn't get to reducing fractions. So 19 and 4/12, when you reduce that, you get to 19 and 1/3. So I'll be curious. You guys send me a message. Let me know, do you know how to divide like this? And do you know how to reduce fractions? With bated breath. Okay. Volume, yay! All right, I like these problems because I think they're kind of like puzzles, like 3-dimensional puzzles. So when I look at these shapes, I usually try to look and see if I can split them into 2 smaller shapes. Like here I have these red cubes, and I can count my red cubes. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So here I have a structure of 10 cubes. And different people have different ways of calculating these. And then here I have a long, kind of more flat structure. Let's see how many cubes I have here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 12. Okay, so I'm getting about a volume of 22 cubic units. Please always remember to include the units. Alrighty then, let's name and tell. Do you remember I taught you some big fancy words for name and tell? I don't know if you guys remember this from last week. Name, what's a big fancy word for that? Identify. And tell, I would say describe. Identify and describe everything you can about this shape. Ooh, this one's a little trickier. Let's look. I see parallel lines right off the bat. One set of parallel lines here. One set of parallel lines here. Another set of parallel lines here. And the way, if you have more than one set of parallel lines, the way you show that they're parallel is with these little arrow looking things. So since there's 2 arrows, you just match them. And the matching symbols show like, oh, they go together, they're parallel. So that's 3 sets of parallel lines. How many sides does this shape have? Let's count. 1 side, 2 sides, 3 sides, 4 sides, 6 sides. This can't be right. 7 sides? Shouldn't it have? No. I'm not counting right. Let's try again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sides. There we go. I counted wrong somewhere along the line. Somewhere along the way. I knew it had to be an even number. It has 6 sides, so that makes it a hexagon, right? And it has a whole bunch of angles. I see some acute and some obtuse. Let's see. Here's 1 obtuse, 2 obtuse, 3 obtuse, 3 obtuse angles on the interior meaning like the inside of the shape, 3 obtuse angles, and let's see, how many acute, meaning smaller than 90-degree angles do we have? 1, 2, just 3. That makes sense, because I have to have a total. If I have 6 sides, I have to also have a total of 6 angles. 3 acute, which means less than, whoopsies, less than 90 degrees. Less than 90 degrees, 3 acute angles. Okay, I'll call that good. One more line plot of the day. This is the one that I made a mistake on. Somebody messaged me. Shout out to Rachel in Mrs. McCluskey's class. She noticed I messed this up. Yesterday I left off one of the pieces of data. So it looks like my smallest piece of data is 87, I want to say. $87. What's my biggest piece? 91 maybe? 87, 88, 89, 90, 91. That works out well. Okay, so 189, 187, 190, 189, 190, 191, 189, another 89, and another 90. There we go. That's it.